Hello everyone. Before I start, if you're wondering why I'm recording these in black and white, it's because I can get away with a higher compression rate, the files are smaller, and it's easier to deal with. There's no artistic statement here. This is just me being lazy tonight and mostly focusing on the message rather than the presentation, which is probably a bad thing to do in a video, but life sucks. This is in response to Coughlin's latest video in which he is setting forth corrections as to mistakes he made in his arguments and explaining why it's important that you look at your arguments carefully and make corrections to them and attempt to make them good arguments. If your position that making rational arguments is a good thing. And there are other people who have made similar statements, and that you really don't want to fuck off when you're trying to present a rationale for something, because doing that likewise encourages bad behavior and otherwise lowers the level of the debate. But there is something else, and someone else has probably touched on this, and I'm sorry for the long pause. I just really this is something that is so obvious that it seems that many other people must have approached this, and so I apologize if you've heard this before. But it doesn't matter at all that there are fanatical Muslims. It doesn't matter that there are moderate and even lackadaisical Muslims. It doesn't matter that some of these groups are immigrating to Europe. It doesn't matter that some of these people want to have the same right to have things tried in a Sharia court that the Jews do in England right now, and in some parts of the Bronx that Hasidic Jews do. And it doesn't matter that they're building a mosque and cultural center, or whatever the fuck you want to call it, 2 blocks from the site of the World Trade Center. And I say it doesn't matter with all sincerity. Does not matter one fucking bit. Matter of fact, if you really think about it, it doesn't matter that some self-identified Muslims flew planes into the World Trade Center, because they're dead. And the mastermind of the plot is behind bars. But what does painfully matter, what is absolutely critical, and I know a lot of you are saying, oh, fuck you, you don't know shit right now. Well, fuck you too. Feeling is mutual. We now have an understanding relationship. Only you don't know shit. Because you leapt to conclusions before I finished, but the vast majority of you that did not, thanks for hanging with me. Here we go. What does critically matter is that we maintain control of what we do in response to situations that appear threatening. What does matter is that we do our best in our limited time and with our limited resources to identify correctly what threats are genuine, what threats are minimal, and what threats are not threats. And most importantly, it matters whether or not we act in accordance with the principles we profess to live by. If we do not, if we throw out free speech, if we say, well, there are exceptions to these principles that we have decided are necessary, and only because that's scary and bad, and because they're different, then we are calling the principles we have chosen to live by unworkable. We are calling them fragile. We are calling them bullshit. And we need better principles. So if you are an advocate of free speech and freedom of thought, because screw religion. As far as I'm concerned, there is no such thing as freedom of religion, because freedom of thought is where everything happens, and freedom of speech is where everything happens. You can't tell whether someone's actually having a religious experience or not. You can only tell that they're thinking and speaking. They may not be doing it well, they may be doing it brilliantly. But to even go to freedom of religion is to say, well, there's a special category of thought above and beyond thinking that needs protection. And if you can't figure out what that is, then why bother with it? And so if you are into rationality, if you are into science, if you are into analytically looking at the world and seeing what it does, if you are into understanding what makes human beings tick, sure, you defend yourself against a clear and present danger, but Thunderfoot, you are in no danger. And Mr. Condell, you are in far more danger from your country's libel laws than from Muslims. And to be perfectly honest, you are in the most danger from yourselves, because you've made a category of things that it's okay for you to act like a pants-wetting lunatic about. And if it's okay for you as an adult to do that in a situation where you are actually not confronted with danger, all I can think of is that you're doing it for your own emotional entertainment and gratification. And I'm pretty sure that's not correct. But it's pretty disgusting. And I apologize. I really, really wanted to make this video building on Coughlin's argument, and it just really pisses me off that two of the biggest names in the atheist non-community on YouTube have decided to ditch the very rationality they propose to support, and to embrace demagoguery, even of a kinder and gentler sort, and to basically say, when confronted with their critics, that it's okay when we do it, because we're doing it for the right reasons and the right motivations. And I'm wondering if anybody's finding this familiar. Anyhow, that's the core of what I wanted to say, that above all else, unless something is about to kill you, or unless something has killed you, what matters is how you react, because you can't do anything about things that have happened. And if it hasn't happened yet, you still are in control of your reactions. And even if shit has gone down and you survive it, you still can control how you move forward, or you can at least try. Gentlemen, please do. Thank you for your time and attention.